Welcome back, Deadites Ghost Beaters. I have to say something that I usually don't have to say on these videos, or at least I haven't had to say a lot of lately, and that is I was wrong. I was wrong about our friend Ed. This was the video. This is me here saying a lot of mean things. Well, let's take a look at how I classified Ed Getley. I'm kind of surprised he made the game at all, let alone being turned into the worst hunter in the game. Actually, he's the worst character in the game. Like, I would literally play any of the 12 characters after they're all unlocked over Ed. I can't honestly find a reason to play him, although his level 25 perk is okay. Like, it's not terrible, but, like, to level him up to level 25 is going to be a lot of Ed Getley play or using infernal points from your account, which I would never recommend doing. And we're going to have to rectify that because it's not accurate. It's not accurate at all. But before we do that, if you like this Evil Dead content, please drop a like, any comment below. I answer all my comments and it really does help the channel and the video. And of course, smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell for all Evil Dead and horror related content. And if you're looking for people to play with or just talk about horror, or you're an Xbox player left in 1.04, or you're in the future in 1.05, we have a thriving Evil Dead community. Just click on the link in the description below for our Discord. And now, here's my apology. I actually, when I was in grad school, one of the things they said was to write out apologies, so you make sure you get them right. And this is my apology letter to Mr. Ed Getley. And it goes as such. Dear Edward, do you mind if I call you Ed? Hopefully he says yes. I have said a lot of disparaging things about you since the start of the beta. It's true, I have. I've called you the worst survivor. I've called you Mr. Lightbright. I've called you pretty much irrelevant. I've called you in a league of his own of pure shit. And this is just some of the things I've called poor Ed. But, Mr. Getley, I'd like to apologize. My community thought it would be funny for me to play you. And for me to suddenly get an appreciation out of this irony is something that I did not see coming. As I started playing you, I realized the power of your flashlight to deactivate all the traps and keep demons lower and lower. I've even spec'd into it so that way my flashlight is down to 50 seconds on cooldown, and it just keeps it going. You are a fear creator's worst nightmare, and I give you mad credits for that. I've also learned to love special weapons, including the crossbow, and the headshot damage you do is absolutely bonkers. And finally, I just received your final perk, getting you to level 25. And now you are a loot pinata to help everyone loot up that much faster. I'm sorry for all the things I said about you, Mr. Getley. You are aces. Love, Old Head Gaming. And there we have it. My I'm sorry letter to Mr. Getley. And I'll be honest with you, I'm putting this back so I can give it to Ed himself. We know that Ed is not nearly as bad as I thought he was. And when we played the beta, you could only take him up so high. The drop rate on crossbows was terribly low. And I never got to, of course, use his level 25 perk, which just makes your group loot up that much faster and be able to just loot rush unsuspecting demons. So I'm going to say this without any doubt. Ed Getley is mid-tier at worst, and he could be higher than that. Like, Ed Getley belongs in the middle of the conversation for very usable characters. He has a very specific role that only he kind of covers. He is much, much, much better than I gave him credit for, and I do apologize to Ed. I am sorry. I can take my... I've seen in comments... Here is some of the comments from people who had been defending Ed Getley in my original video. And I can't argue with anything they've said now. Now, remember when I made this original Ed Getley video and when I dropped my tier list, which was on launch day, anti-Ed, and now I have fallen in love with the character. He has the best lines of any character in the game. He gets me hyped with his bromance that we have suddenly developed, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ed. Don't worry, I will be playing a lot of you once we finish leveling up other characters, because I enjoy playing Ed Getley. Like, I really like it. I can say this with a straight face. I love Ed Getley, and he might be the most underrated character in the game. Tomorrow, I will drop my full build, my 1 to 24 build for him. I'm also going to drop a level 25 support Ed build. You're still going to be able to do plenty of range damage, but you're also going to be spec'd into making sure that your lamp is usable as fast as possible. As always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.